Oh. I didn't know.
You always wait such a beat before you say hello.
Hello.
And then I'm like, should I say it? Who's going to say it first?
We did not discuss this beforehand.
No.
I just said, I'll press the buttons, and that's as far as we go.
Not a scripted podcast, just so you know, a little behind the scenes of Age of Geek here.
But yes, this is Age of Geek, the podcast, part of Age of Geek Media. We've got a whole bunch of other podcasts that you need to check out as well, whatever suits your fancy.
Well, Marlee is having a cough attack, so I'll edit that out, actually. Marlee, are you okay? We're just going to wait for you and stare at you.
Wait for me. I'm breathing. We're fine. Just, I don't know. I just got something caught in my throat, and all of a sudden I could not breathe until it came out of my throat.
Well, we are so excited to be here tonight to talk about The Witcher Season 3, Part 1. We even brought in one of our favorite people to talk to us about it. Talk with us about it. Syntax, man, it's hard. We have Stephanie Alexander. Say hello, Steph.
Hello. So good to be here.
Yes.
Yes, happy to have you.
It's been, what, 2 years since Season 2 of The Witcher came out? 3 years?
No, it's been at least 2, if not maybe like a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, 2, something like that.
Now I'm going to have to look this up.
I totally had to do some recap on Season 2 because I forgot a bunch of what had happened.
Oh, it came out. That's not right. At the end of 2021.
That's
okay, so like a year and a half. You're right.
Yeah.
And we also have gotten the news that Henry Cavill not going to be returning as Geralt.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because they announced this like before Season 3 came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really put a huge dampener on everybody's excitement for Season 3. Yes? No?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I actually found out that the cast, they found out about Henry Cavill's replacement the day before it was announced to the world. So, like, it was a big shock to them as well. It's not like they brought in Liam Hemsworth to do, like, what do they call it? Chemistry tests with the other characters. They're just like, hey, this is what's up.
This is happening.
Yeah, I don't know if it put a damper on this season so much as it's put a damper on the series going forward, the future of it. The fans are not happy, to say the least.
No, and I really don't have anything against Liam Hemsworth, but I don't want him to be Geralt.
Yeah, we have such a, like, we've gotten such a great Geralt. I mean, even looking back on seasons 1 and 2, like, there were some really awesome, solid moments with this character, and especially played by somebody who knows and loves the character as well. Like, you can just tell that he is getting into it. I don't know. I guess in talking with a couple people too, like in, with Season 3 that was coming up a little bit about a month ago, I kind of was like, oh, are you going to watch it? Are you excited for Witcher Season 3? And both people, like, their reactions were like, oh, yeah, I just don't know if I'm that excited, because after this season, it's not going to be Henry Cavill. So I just don't even know if it's worth it to watch Season 3.
Right. And as much as we love Yennefer and Ciri, I think Geralt is the heart and soul of this program.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Well,
this program.
Yeah. And I think that also leads into, like, why Henry Cavill has said he's leaving. Like, he loves the source material, right? And he fought for a lot of the source material, like, stuff. And so with him leaving too, you kind of wonder, like, where are they going to go? Because part of the reasons he left was, like, the creative differences between the team and him, and what, like, he wanted to do with the character. So it's kind of like, well, from what I understood, I may be wrong, but So it's
That's
kind
what
of
I heard too. Yeah.
How far off are we going to go? What are we going to see?
Well, and I think some people shy away from high fantasy type TV shows and books and stuff. But there's a lot of richness to it. It's not just like you're following one character. You're following multiple characters with multiple backstories and multiple mythology that goes along with it. So it's heavy. But I think that also brings such good storytelling, and it does make some of the other characters really cool and really interesting, and more than just one dimensional. So yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I'll give Liam a chance.
I don't know though. Like, that's the thing is like we need to see it still.
Well,
like we have obviously there's no trailers or anything for
Yeah.
season 4, and so like until we get to that point and like see him in full costume, I cannot picture it. Even though there are people out there who've, gotten into their Photoshopness and made, taken Liam Hemsworth's face and put it on Henry Cavill's body as Witcher, and it's kind of like this doesn't look right, and so it's like until we actually see the actual person in this role, I don't believe it. I just don't.
And at this point, none of the three of us have watched part 2 of the Witcher release.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know if episode 8 ends with like a Thor-like scenario where like the power of Geralt goes to another human, which might make sense, might work for us, but just like doing a whole Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Viv switcheroo and not mention you change the actor.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
Oh no.
I think it's just going to be straight up like,
oh no.
Here's season 4. Okay, Kitty, you need to go.
I also I'm worried that they're gonna, like we said, the rest of the cast didn't know, right? Which leads me to believe that the rest of the cast is coming back, which leads me to believe that we're kind of staying in the same storyline.
Yeah.
Which concerns me because I was like, if we were like, okay, season, 1, 2, and 3 is seasons 1, 2, and 3 is like the first Witcher saga, and then starting season 4 with Liam Hemsworth was like maybe a different story or a different like portion of Geralt's life or whatever. Like, okay, maybe it's a strong maybe, but maybe. But if you're bringing the rest of the cast back and you're expecting me to believe that Liam Hemsworth is Henry Cavill's character,
right?
I'm gonna have a hard time.
Netflix, you're making some bad decisions here, including not paying your writers or giving residuals. So you've heard it. You heard it here first. Just kidding. You've heard it from a lot of different sources. We want Henry Cavill back, and you need to pay people better.
That's all we want in life. Just those two things.
We need our television back, so we need you to do better.
I know. Before we started recording, while we were waiting for this Steph, me and this Steph were talking about how that's the thing is like there's no like new stuff coming out, at least not anytime sooner. A lot of things have been put on hold. And so I'm like, well, this is the perfect time to like catch up on your backlog. If you have some like old shows that you just haven't gotten around to yet, or maybe there's only like a season or 2 or something, like this is the time to catch up. So I'm trying to like find, the light at the end of the tunnel, or the sunshine. What is the phrase? I can't.
The light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I'm like the sunshine, the bright side of the thing. That's whatever,
the silver, I mean. Yeah, the silver lining.
The silver lining. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Because it obviously sucks for those people, and I wish for them to be able to be compensated and for what they deserve. But at the same time, it's like, what about our TV shows and movies?
Well, that's what. Who is it? Is it Paul Rudd or no? It's the Hulk. What's his name?
Mark Ruffalo?
Jeez, that was such a big brain fart. I know who Mark Ruffalo is. He's telling people to start doing more indie stuff instead of working with the big networks. So it'll be interesting to see if like next Sundance Film Festival is just filled with famous big ass celebrities and
I hope so.
Smaller movies. Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
I'm here for it. As much as I love my Marvel stuff, I want to see like Mark Ruffalo and Chris Evans and even RDJ and these in the different types of stories.
I've always loved the independent movies because they're harder to find. So I hope that they get bigger, because if bigger named actors were behind them,
Right.
it would be easier to find.
Maybe we'll have to do AOG at Sundance this year, and we can make up for the what time Marlee and I tried to go to Sundance in college and ended up watching a weird movie about space tourism and never even
Russia. Like it was like based in Russia.
And never made it up to like Park City to where all the cool stuff was going on. We were in the middle of Provo Canyon and got snowed out.
We were at literal Sundance, like the resort.
We didn't know. We were young.
We were so dumb.
Anyway.
Yeah, and then we got stuck in the snowy canyon, and then by the time we got out, we were all so hungry. We went to Chili's.
Positive, right?
Yeah.
Back to The Witcher.
Witcher.
We'll bring it right back.
Okay, so what did you guys think of these first 5 episodes? What was your initial reaction?
Well, episode 1 was part of it was very, very sweet and cute when they start having their whole family time together, and like
they meaning Geralt, Yennefer and Ciri.
Okay, although how old is Ciri supposed to be?
Who knows?
16?
Yeah, I guess she is Elven, and that
15?
like totally messes up age as well. But she doesn't.
Like she gotta
she's
at
only
least
like
be
23 or 24 in real life, but she definitely looks older than like. She definitely looks like she's in her 20s. She doesn't look very childish, I guess. And so I'm like, Yennefer and Geralt are raising this young adult, which is fine too. It's very cute.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, like they have
training her, it's not just raising her.
That is true.
Yeah. But they also have their eternal youth, so
that's true.
Well, sort of, not Geralt, but he also lives longer. I don't really know the lore
Witchers live
behind
longer?
that, but
They do.
Yeah, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure I heard something about that, but like even like mages, I mean, they can make themselves look like whatever they want.
Well, and we know that Yennefer will never be able to have kids from that scarring, horrific scene from season 1. So at this point, it is kind of cute to see Yennefer kind of having a mother-like role.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they even make that comment.
She finally got to be a mom.
Yeah, what's her name? I'm like forgetting all the names.
Tissaia.
Yes. Yeah, she makes that comment, and that I thought that was actually pretty heartwarming, you know. And I loved those scenes though in the first episode where they're kind of playing family and traveling around and stuff. Like I was like, I want more of this. Please, just like let's keep doing this.
Well, not first how Geralt wouldn't talk to Yennefer, but you see like his heart start to soften a little bit while they're like ice skating and whatnot. It's pretty.
They're like
cute.
leaving notes and stuff. Yeah, I thought that was fun.
I feel like, is Yennefer Geralt's endgame? I'm jumping ahead because
like soulmates. You mean?
Like okay, episode 5 gives us a little like some juicy stuff with the two of them.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, I
think in the show, yes.
In the books, that's not quite the.
I haven't read enough yet, but what I have read, Yennefer doesn't even exist. But I have heard that she does exist. I have heard that they've pulled her character out more for this, but like I said, I haven't read it, so I'm not gonna. I can't say yes or no.
Okay. It does say in my quick
different. There's not one specific. It seems from so far up.
Is he a player in the books?
In the books, I've only read 1.5 books, and there are 8.
Okay. There's so many books,
and they're like Polish, aren't they? Like Polish translations.
Yeah.
So they're not like 100% translated correct. I don't want to say into correct English, but some of it isn't the.
Some sentence structure is a little funky.
There we go.
But I don't think it's that bad. But
I haven't read the
I've
book.
also only the books I've read have been the short stories ones. I haven't read the actual like big chunk of story.
I mean, that's more than me.
They pull from both for the shows, so.
Yeah, I've only played like a little bit of Witcher 3, the video game.
Well, and we know how
well.
these big networks like to do with video games, where they have the source material and then they like to continue on with their own stuff. So it's just it's more of a guideline, not a rule.
I do think there is a lot of the book influence from what books I've read. There is quite a heavy influence from the books, which I think is a good thing.
Well, and that was isn't that one of the things too that Henry Cavill was so like adamant about, was he's like, no, like I want this to be adapted from the books, like and was, I swear, like I heard like a thing like a long time ago, it was back when season 1 had come out, that they were like, yeah, he would stop filming sometimes to make sure that it's like, no, it's supposed to be this way, the book, and he has like the book in his hands, kind of thing.
And he also fought for, like, I guess there are specific lines, I couldn't tell you which ones, but he actually he pulled the book out and like kind of shift the line to be the actual line from the book.
I love that. I love that.
Too. That's what makes it so good.
I know. And that's what I think, like, especially season 1, I think that's what made season 1 so good and so like loved. And then season 2, I feel like a lot of fans, and I'm kind of speaking, you know, generally, obviously, because this is not everybody thinks this way, but a lot of people weren't as impressed with season 2. And partly maybe it's because of, you know, the producers decided to go in a little bit different directions with things from the source material, but also like maybe just quality wise, I'm not totally sure where it went wrong, because like I don't know, I still enjoyed season 2.
I loved season 2. One of my favorite episodes so far, like in the whole series, it's in season 2. So
the training stuff in season 2 is super fun and super like, there has to be, with all the depth of the story, some lightheartedness, and I think you saw that. Season 2 was good, but I am really digging season 3. My thoughts on episode 1 and 2 were, if they did fantastic beats better and darker with more F words, that would be what this movie or TV show is. Because that's what, this is a tangent, but like, that's what Fantastic Beasts the movies was lacking, is lots of beasts. The movies focus on like 1 or 2 different beasts, and we've seen several different monsters in this that he has to fight. And so yeah, I think it's been fun to see them in action and see different types of monsters and whatnot. So
similarly, like you were talking about the training, I like that we're seeing Ciri's development. We're seeing her like figure out, like she like which episode was it, when they're on the boat?
3?
Oh yeah.
4, I think.
3 or 4, yeah.
But
yeah.
Oh yeah, 4. She, you know, I think it's this creature, and she's right, and then she basically takes it out. We see he's there, Geralt's there to kind of back her up if she needs anything, but he's kind of there to just let her. He lets her do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because she's got to figure it out on her own.
And I kind of love that Ciri isn't just perfect at everything. She has to really work, especially at her magic. And there's even parts where she thinks she's doing magic and it's Yennefer doing it for her in the background.
But she catches it too. Luckily, like, I do appreciate that she's aware. Like, she's like, oh, I did it. And then she turns around and she's like, oh, I didn't.
Right. And then we have Jaskier come in. Yes. Into the season, and he is super fun. We love him.
Oh yeah, he's like that comedic relief. I mean, that's
the little man whore.
It's very typical of like a bard, you know, like they're always just like so fun loving. I know that same scene we were talking about where Ciri was talking about like the sea monster that they'll probably encounter, like right before that, when they first like met up, her and Geralt like walked up and found him there, and he's like, oh, how are your lessons going? And they're just like, oh, well, we haven't really been doing, you know, a lot of lessons. And he's like, no, we're talking about smiling lessons for you. And of course he just sits there and just like glares at them both.
Gives a grunt.
I love it. I love it so much. Just the dynamics and the relationships with all the different characters.
Jaskier is an uncle.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
okay, keep going, Mar. Sorry.
Well, then there was also that scene too that I also I think it was in that same episode later on where Yennefer and Geralt were like talking and they're like, give us a minute, you know, and then Jaskier and Ciri go over here and they're like pretending like they're saying what they think they're saying, and you like see them in the distance. I was laughing throughout that scene.
I read that that's in the books and they were gonna cut that out, but the actor for Jaskier was like, no, you have to keep that in. So
I'm really gonna have to read that set of books. I just haven't gotten to them yet.
He is the lightheartedness. Did you feel like when they were playing cards and stuff that they were kind of shipping him and Ciri?
No.
Okay, I kind of felt like they were, and then he started having sex with the other dude. So, like, I was like, I'm glad I don't want that to happen.
That was where I was gonna go there next with the fun uncle. Like, just he's there to take care of her. They're playing the game, and she's like, I'm tired, and he says, okay, and you know that he's gonna be up all night, and it's gonna be a long night for him because he doesn't really want to be there.
Right,
he wants to be at the party, but
that he wasn't invited to. Poor guy.
But he's like, okay, that's fine. Like, you go to sleep, I'll watch out for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he walks away. But still.
I know. I am kind of worried, like, while he's having fun with his little buddy, if something's going to happen with Ciri, because episode 5 ends and you don't really see what happens with Ciri because 5 is all about Yennefer and Geralt.
But it's kind of also made a thing that maybe Jaskier walking away, they were like luring Jaskier away. So
that's what I was just gonna touch on as well. I'm like, my theory is that they that prince Radovid. I don't think he's genuine in his intentions at all. I think he is luring Jaskier away and trying to get like in his good graces kind of thing and distract him. And I don't know if they're necessarily going after Ciri, but it might be to lure Jaskier away for some reason and get him to do something. But we do know that
they are going after Ciri because...
Well, but there's like that spell, so I don't know if they can even get to her. So maybe they're taking him away.
I do feel like everyone after Ciri, though, so that's like the end goal.
Exactly. So I don't know. I definitely don't think Prince Radovid has true intentions towards our cute little Jaskier.
Yeah, who we want to protect.
Yes, he's precious. Let the bard live. Oh my goodness. So kind of, I did want to touch on Steph. Steph, you're this way. You had kind of, talked about some of like the monsters and like kind of some of the action scenes. I actually kind of feel like these first 5 episodes of Volume 1 lacked in action. I kind of wish there were more fighting scenes.
The first scene in the first episode is Geralt cutting someone's like head off.
Yeah, I want more of that. That's what I'm saying. We need more.
I agree with Marlee because I've gone after I watched the first 5 episodes, I went back and restarted seasons 1 and 2 again because I love The Witcher and I can't get enough of it. And so I was like, well, I'm going to restart it. And I forgot just how many there was a different monster and a different like action, like fight scene in every episode.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gotten a few really good ones, and I'm not going to say they're not good. They're fantastic. But we also know that they're capable of so much more because we've already seen it. And the first 5 episodes there's been a lot more politicking. We've seen a lot more of Yennefer politicking than we have like Geralt and Ciri fighting.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. I like both. But it seems a little stilted's not the right word, but I can't come up with the right word. A little.
It's not balanced for one thing. Yeah, like I
have
feel
to
like
lay a lot of groundwork to set up all the stories between the mages, the stories with the elves, the
Which worries
stories.
me because we only have 3 more episodes.
Yeah.
And that's my next thing we were talking about earlier is I'm worried that we're not going to wrap up in 3 episodes because they don't really want it to, but
It's going to be,
or
I
this,
hope the next 3 episodes aren't wow wow. Oh, just how much they do have to do.
Sorry, my cat is very distracting. He like
He's so needy tonight.
He is demanding cuddles, like I kid you not. But I was gonna make a comment back to episode 1. I really liked that fight scene that was shot in one take, like all one shot, where they went like all the different angles. I thought that was so cool. And they even featured that. I think there's like a behind the scenes thing showing a little bit more about that.
Oh, good.
It was so, yeah. I just love that the producers and everybody, like they try to make, because yeah, there's a lot of high fantasy stuff. There's a lot of this kind of stuff, but just to try to make it unique, and to stand out, amongst all the other shows that are out there. I feel like Witcher does do a good job of that as best they can, just to try to make it different. I mean, even season 1 with how the timing was like all over the place, and you don't realize it until like halfway through that you're like, wait, this is not as it seems, or whatever that
things are not as they seem.
What the bards sing in episode 5.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I had like that same like thought. Even in that episode 5, when they're at the party, I was like, okay, they're doing something unique here to keep us on our toes.
I loved that episode.
I did too. I thought it was really interesting. I liked seeing all the little different pieces, and everything kind of come together, because it was a little weird how the first time when Geralt and Yennefer are going to the party, and then they basically make the rounds, and then it ends. I was like, that can't be it.
Right.
That can't be all. I'm like, no, I want more of the party. That sounded cool.
There was supposed to be a lot that was happening. We kind of were building up to this party. I thought that was a really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
Well, and actually, so I was watching with my husband, Jason, and he actually had an interesting theory, like partway through the episode when it kind of played through the party again, and we're kind of like, wait, what? He kind of had an interesting theory that because you could see the big giant like magic ring up in the air above them, and he's like, are they stuck in a time loop? He's like, is this Groundhog Day? And I was like, well, now that would be an interesting twist on things.
Yeah, I wondered if it was a time loop too, and they were going to redo it over and over.
Yeah, and try like different, like to get different outcomes. But then as they kept going and they kept adding more of the dialogue, I was like, oh no, I see what's going on here. But that still would have been really cool with like a Groundhog Day thing.
It would have been cool. I liked sorry, go ahead.
No, you go for it.
The way they did it, because they're like peeling back the layers, right? We're able to like focus more on each individual scenario. Like each time we're focusing on a different portion of the party. So you kind of get a clearer, like full picture, because, I know what happens. I know what's happening with Geralt and Yennefer over here. So I can focus here on Tess, because I don't have to worry about over here. So I liked that, because there was a lot that happened at that party.
Right.
Yes.
And you get to see Geralt say he loves you to Yennefer.
It was so sweet. I know. I just loved their whole dynamic at that party. Like you could just tell that they were in sync. That's exactly what, they had a purpose. They have their mission that they're trying to find who this rogue mage is, and they think it's Stregbor. And of course, this is obviously spoilers. Like we can talk spoilers in this.
Spoilers the whole time.
I know. But like now I'm gonna go a little more detailed, So they think it's Stregbor because they have very, very good reason to think it's him, especially with the other stuff that happened in the earlier episodes of season 3 with the young girl. What was her name? Tezin?
Oh, Tevin?
Taryn?
The one that looks like Ciri.
Yeah, the one that
Yes.
thought she was
I
Ciri.
cannot remember her name.
I think it's
Taryn. It is Taryn. Okay, I found it. But yeah, like even like how Stregobor has like a history of like messing with young girls, and
Which was also fun when I went back and rewatched season 1, like directly after season 5, because it's the first episode. It's the very, very first episode. So I was like, right, I kind of forgot that this was the thing.
Yeah, I had totally forgotten as well. I think in my mind I must have been like totally written off that bad guy as from episode 1 as like, no, he's gone. But it took with all these like gaps in between seasons, you forget a lot.
Yeah.
But
and
anyways,
you're so good about making sure everything ties back in, but you have to either go back and rewatch or have a really good memory to keep it all straight.
They need a more detailed recap. Like they have like a recap that you can watch on Netflix, but it's not detailed enough. And like I need like a cheat sheet of like, here's all these names and places and here's who's who, because I'd have to like almost like pause it and be like, okay, wait, that's the mage that was with this person, but now they're with this person. And like, oh, but we thought she was dead, but now I don't know. It was just, it's a lot. Especially because this show is so political and there's the kings and the mages and each different thing.
I love it though. To me, it just sets up the rewatch value, because I had meant to get through season 1 and season 2 before this one dropped, and I didn't get through it. And then I wanted to make sure I watched these 5 episodes before we did this. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go straight into it. But it definitely, I think, lends itself to that rewatch value, because I also feel like if some of that had been like included in the recap, it would have blown some of the information. Like, hey, remember this? This was important, where it was something that you were kind of supposed to have kind of maybe not had as close in your memory, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. They want to still keep up the surprise and the shock, which they definitely did at the end of episode 5 when we found out it wasn't Stregobor after all, even though all of the stuff was in his room.
Like kind of led towards, okay, but did what's his face, Yennefer's ex-lover, mage dude,
I was trying to come up with his name too. Let me pull that
up. Did he magic that book into that room?
No,
you kind of see the light, like
he's wanting to get it, the book he was.
I don't know, I feel like he might be double crossing, because he like walks into Stregobor's closet, and you do kind of see like light appear and then go away, almost as if magic is happening. I watched this 45 minutes ago, so it's very fresh in my mind.
I'm gonna have to go rewatch it, but I don't think I don't think he's in on it. I really don't. Although he, if I think back onto season 1, I believe that he did work directly under
Vilgefortz.
See?
I forgot that until you said that, but I do believe that he was in close cahoots with him.
We'll see if he ends up being a goodie or a baddie. On a side note, the guy who plays Stregobor is named Lars Mikkelsen, and he's the older half-brother of Mads Mikkelsen.
I did not know that.
I didn't know it till I looked at their Wikipedia.
Interesting.
Yes.
That is interesting.
But yeah, no, so I feel like we should have seen Vilgefortz coming a little bit, because
I feel like I kind of did, but not really. I wanted to not see it. How about that?
Well, they kept saying like, "Oh, I'm starting to like him more than I thought it." So like they were turning you onto his side.
Well, and especially with like Tissaia, like for her, like she is such like a very like by the rules person, and she's like kind of cold-hearted a little bit. In some ways, like she has a very hard outer shell, right? But like for her to like I feel like she let her guard down, and to trust somebody like that, it's like setting things up. She totally set it up. But sorry, what did you just say?
I feel like that's what kind of made me nervous about him, was because she is such a hard outer shell. It's like you're almost trying too hard to get in with her. Why? There's that, and then there's also, like, for me, it was kind of like, I still don't know that I trust Tissaia totally either, because
right,
she wasn't always great either. So there's just sometimes that he's like, I don't know, are you trying too hard? I really want to like you. I want to believe Tissaia's on Yennefer's side, and I want to believe you're on Tissaia's side. But I don't fully trust you.
Yeah, no, I totally see that.
I feel like one of the only mages besides Yennefer that I like the most / trust the most is it Tess or Triss? What is her name? Triss? Triss, yeah.
Triss.
I love Triss. And like, even like, I loved seeing more of her in season 2 as well. I feel I need to go back and rewatch season 2 because I only watched it once as it was, released a year and a half ago. And I'm like forgetting so much, but I feel, I liked her dynamic and her addition to the cast as well. So it was fun seeing her again in these few episodes.
It was fun having her have a bigger role
in
these episodes.
Yeah, for sure. So what do we like? I guess there's so much like side stuff too going on that like, I don't know. I feel like it did make things a little, again, like back to the whole thing with like politics and how it's very like the mages and the kings and everything. But like, I don't know, some of the time for me at least, I just felt like it was just kind of confusing. And I'm like, okay, can we get back to Geralt now? Even if we get a whole episode of just like Geralt and Ciri just talking, I would be fine with that.
I don't think we're gonna.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna hear anyone just sit and talk, I'd rather like hear some like cool Witcher stuff. Some of the politics are kind of interesting, but like the whole thing with Dijkstra and what's her name?
What is her name?
That mage.
Oh.
There's so many names. It's hard to keep track of everybody. I'm like, it's the guy who plays Philippa. It's the guy who plays or it's Graham McTavish. He's from
Outlander.
Yep.
Yeah, which is how the episode 5 ends, isn't it? Is it him with the knife against Geralt's throat?
Yes. So what's going on with that? What do we think what do we think is going to happen with that?
He's on Vilgefort's side?
Or is he still trying to get Ciri? He's still trying.
There's going to be a major coup with the mages. They're supposed to be coming together for like peace and prosperity, but really they're just going to overturn everything.
What, 3 or 4 different like end games in that party alone? Like,
yeah.
And they all hinge around Ciri, which is concerning.
Everything hinges on Ciri. Yeah, no, there's a lot they have to wrap up in the next 3 episodes.
I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to do it on purpose because they want us all to come back for season 4.
Oh my gosh, I think you're right. They're like, we're going to make you watch Liam Hemsworth.
If they do that, it's going to be unfortunate because they've done so well so far about the seasons being fairly, they do have an ending. There obviously is room for the next story, but there is a ending.
Mm-hmm.
So if they do cliffhanger, it's gonna be really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they'd be smart if they do because they're not idiots. They've seen all the fans everywhere. No one's happy.
No one's happy with it.
The common theme is, sorry, this is last season.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No. Everybody's treating this like this is the last season of Witcher.
Even though 4 is already confirmed.
Yeah. Do they have a release date for it?
Probably not.
Okay.
Is my guess. But
I don't see one on a quick look, but that doesn't mean it's out there.
I do think it was fun. When Ciri is kind of out in the town, I think in episode 2 or 3, when she isn't supposed to be, but with that one guy.
Oh yeah. In the market.
And then the girl keeps kind of showing up as well. and kind of like hangs out with them.
Oh yeah, she pickpocketed her and took all her gold.
Yeah. So I guess in the books that is Ciri's love interest.
Oh.
And they're doing a Witcher spinoff called The Rats, I think, because she's part of that like pack of people, the Rats. So I thought that was kind of a fun little, yeah.
I would check that out.
Also, Robbie Amell was the elf dude.
I had
the little like ass hat elf dude.
That was Robbie Amell.
I just barely realized that by looking at IMDb.
As I was watching it, I was like, "This guy's familiar." I have to because I know his face, and so it was like I should have known that. Come on.
Well, and like his voice was actually. Jason commented on it a couple of times during our watch through, but like his voice was very like low and scraggly, and I'm like, Jason, obviously he's trying to be I'm Batman, like that whole thing. I'm like, that's what he's doing. But it was also like once you heard it, I couldn't unhear it.
Yeah.
So he was, that was a whole interesting thing. And I was actually reading an article earlier today. I couldn't tell you where it was, but because I read like 3 of them back to back and I don't remember which one was which, but someone was saying something about how like the elves, like the whole plot that's like side plot that's going on with like the elves and Francesca, the like queen of the elves. They're like, what is even happening here? Like, it just doesn't seem like this particular plot point is like going anywhere. I don't know. Do you guys have any comments on what's going on with the elves?
Again, Ciri's the key to everything. It seems like at this point they want her to be their savior, and then the people that aren't mages want her to be the queen. So I can see them coming together, which they kind of did in episode 4 or 5, and kind of they're going to start working together. But I don't think that there'll be continual harmony because that's just not how the world of The Witcher works.
And it goes back, like I think the elves. It'll be interesting to see how they pull that out. It goes back to season 1. There's a whole episode where Filavandrel, Geralt saves him and actually gets him like back to the elves. Like it's one of the episodes, but that's a story from the books. So I feel like it's one of those things where there's more. It's another one of those calls to the book that are they haven't fully fleshed out what they want to do with it. It's kind of how I feel, but it's also part of the like the elves are not wanted in this world.
Yeah.
So they're kind of being systematically hunted down and erased, and the elves are trying to fight back to just live.
Right. I mean, that's a big key point with Stregobor, where he doesn't want the elves. It's like the whole mudblood thing in Harry Potter, where it's like you shouldn't be here because you're not pure mage.
And even even the people that are half elves.
Yeah.
Well, because isn't Yennefer half elf?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why he doesn't like her.
Well, and the thing of the girls going missing that Triss found out we're all half elven.
Right. Which is why, again, they thought Stregobor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I guess I shouldn't complain about, and I'm not even really complaining. I'm just kind of interested in these plot points that don't right now seem to be going anywhere. But like, I guess, in the broad scheme of things, they need to keep kind of like check or keep tabs on these different plot points. So that way they can build up to future things or some sort of like big collision at the end where everybody meets
it's going to come to a head because somewhere, like we already know that Ciri being half elven, we know that the other girls going missing that are half elven. There's something about being elven, right? That is, they're being taken or hunted.
Yeah, targeted.
So in that, we kind of have to know where the elves are and what's going on with the elves.
Yeah,
I think it's going to come back into play because they kind of.
And what about
we don't want it to all of a sudden like be like this big climax at the end of the season, and all of a sudden Francesca and the elves show up, and we're like, wait, what? So I guess it makes sense in the big grand scheme of things, but like as it's kind of going along, I'll be honest, like I've had a hard time getting through some of those scenes. And again, I'm just like, can we keep things moving along? Can we get back to Geralt and Yennefer and Ciri? I like those three.
It's also one of those things that I feel that we have a hard time because we don't quite know what's going on. Like in the end, at least the last thing I can remember of seeing the elves, where we see them team up with the guy whose name I don't remember.
Oh my gosh.
He was the one that originally
was going after Ciri.
Yeah. From season 1, and he's kind of been in and out. But so he goes and teams up with them, and he's like, yeah, the ruler that I work for has a mission, and he wants us to work together. But we already saw him kill Robbie Amell's elf character, so we're like,
yeah,
there's something else going on here. Why are you using the elves? What are you using them for? What is, like, we just don't know yet. They haven't let out enough. With them, it's more of a why and what's still going on rather than an actual like laid out story. There's still mysteries.
Can we take a moment to be horrified by the flesh monster?
It was terrifying.
Oh my gosh. What did that remind you guys of, though? With all the like
human centipede.
Or are you thinking of Last of Us Part 2?
Reminded me of the Rat King from The Last of Us.
That makes more sense. That's a better choice.
It is. It's a combination of the Rat King and human centipede. Oh, it was
Cahir. That's his name. Cahir.
Cahir.
Well, I found this like really long name. It's like he has like it's like Cahir Mar different Apsalek or something like that.
How come you didn't remember that?
I'm surprised you.
I should have.
You didn't.
Okay, that's actually another note that I thought was interesting. When they cast the girl to play Yennefer, Anya something or another. So I guess Yennefer in the books is described as like the most beautiful woman in the world. And so they kind of cast her to challenge like beauty standards. Was their words, to challenge beauty standards. And I'm like, you need to cast different people because she is gorgeous. Just because she is, it was just kind of interesting. I saw an article about that, how they wanted to choose someone with darker complexion and with like bigger features. Like she has like a large nose, but they still just chose this beautiful woman. So I just thought it was this interesting thing. And they need to try
hard. It's also TV.
If their idea is to challenge beauty standards, than to just put a beautiful person up there. It's like there's this line in the Barbie movie, this is not a spoiler, where Margot Robbie is sad and they're like, and she thinks she doesn't look good. And the narrator comes on and she's like, if you want to prove your point about like not looking good, you need to cast someone who isn't Margot Robbie. So anyways, it's just like, yeah. Yes. Yennefer and Geralt together are very beautiful human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And Geralt was definitely giving Pedro Pascal energy with his whole daddy vibes with Ciri.
And Kratos.
Daddy vibes, not with Ciri, but father to Ciri.
I could see that.
Yeah, but also like Papa Kratos.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That makes a lot of sense.
Especially with all the grunting.
And the grumpiness. It was really cute when they got reunited when Ciri ran away from the school. It was tender to see how they came back together when he rescued her from the whatever strafe, I think it was.
You just brought up something else that I just realized something. I worry about, and they're probably not that much different, but to me, Liam Hemsworth reads much younger.
I think so too.
And that dynamic isn't going to be the same.
No. Oh, come on, Netflix. It's yeah.
They're probably really not that much different in age, Henry Cavill and Liam Hemsworth, but Liam, I don't know, he reads.
Liam Hemsworth is our age, and I think Henry Cavill is 40. So they're really not too far apart. Our age, I guess I meant 33, and I'll be 33 next month. So, but yeah, But
Well,
no, I totally
it's al-
don't. It's not the same. It won't be the same vibe.
It's almost like they should have gotten Chris Hemsworth. I feel like he
Yeah.
would fit in a little better. However, he's already been so, I mean, he's done obviously other stuff since Thor. But he's also, I feel like, a little like, what is the term? Typecast? Is that the
Yeah.
term? Like, I feel like he's already been kind of typecasted a little bit as Thor, and like he's Thor, the character's a little bit more, especially as they go along, he kind of gets a little more like goofy and silly, where that is not Witcher
That is
at
not
all.
Witcher at all.
And so I think
you were absolutely right. Liam Hemsworth is 33 and Henry Cavill is 40.
Yeah. See?
Whoa.
Also,
So, I don't
Chris
know.
Hemsworth, as of right now, is done acting. He found out that he has the gene for early onset Alzheimer's. And so he decided to
Oh.
take a step away from acting and like
I
is
haven't heard
enjoying
that.
his life.
No, good for him.
Oh.
So who knows if like maybe in the future that changes, but as of right now, I think he is not accepting any more roles or whatnot.
Well, and I guess when you've made quite a bit of money as well with all these major movies, that you could choose to retire at this age.
I saw an article where Chris Pratt was like, decided to do Marvel because I didn't want to be a waiter anymore because you make Marvel money and then you do not have to wait tables.
I mean, you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Liam. I feel bad because again, I don't dislike Liam Hemsworth. I just
dislike him
have
either.
a
Don't-
hard time seeing him
Geralt.
as Geralt.
He needs to, I feel like he needs to like fill out a bit too. Like he's
And
not
he probably will. That I
he's
don't.
not triangle shaped enough.
They can do that. They're movie stars.
Yeah.
And it is a lot, like biologically it is a lot easier for men to like it's a lot easier for them to like gain muscles like a lot faster than women can too. So he's probably already triangle shaped and it's fine. We just haven't seen any photos because
one of the last major roles we saw Liam in was PETA. No, he wasn't PETA.
No,
Gale.
The other one. Yale. And
I don't think he's done anything since then. I can't really think of much.
Gale was big, but he wasn't like beefy. So yeah, he definitely will have to change his look for Geralt.
Well, but he's also older now, and there's a difference between like 21 built and 33 built. It's very different.
That is true. But I still can't get past, like, when I think of Liam Hemsworth, I think of him in The Last Song with Miley Cyrus. The Nicholas Sparks book or movie that was based off of a Nicholas Sparks book.
Too.
Yep. I actually liked that.
It's a good
book
movie.
And movie. Yeah, I liked the book
to be
too.
Geralt.
I know. It's just so. It's just. I feel like again we've come full circle, but like I really can't picture it in my mind. So I just need to see it. We need like a teaser.
But
I mean, people have made a lot of teasers.
No, a real one.
It'll be interesting to see how this season finishes, based on how much we got in episode 5. Like just to see where this season goes. There's only 3 episodes left.
Mm-hmm.
So how much are they going to fit in 3 episodes? How much do we have to wait for the next season and either say no or suck it up?
Which leads us to say that there'll probably be a part 2 where we talk about The Witcher part 2.
On this podcast is what she means.
Yeah. Here, now. Well, not now. But eventually. Because we do want to finish it. And
I know.
See. And they'll probably be in the next episode where the part 2 of it, where we talk so much more about how Liam Hemsworth just isn't Geralt. Not our Geralt.
Yeah.
Not our Geralt.
But we would love to hear your opinions and thoughts on our Discord. Discord.ageofgeek.com. We're pretty cool. We're fun to talk to.
We have like all geeks are welcome. Like seriously, we have like all sorts of different channels for all sorts of different topics and things that you love and want to geek out about with fellow nerds.
Yeah. And again, we have a bunch of other shows about movies and video games and other cool stuff that we would love for you to check out as well. So Thank you, Steph, for joining us today, talking about
Thank you.
Anytime.
The Witcher and the beautiful blondness that is Henry Cavill's wig and face.
It's not blonde, it's white.
And body. All right, that's true. That's true. And then we'll be back next week as well for another episode. So we will see you then. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
This has been an Age of Geek media production.